Hello and welcome to the Chinksey Sports Presents, the Premier League show, powered by chinkseyMEDIA. We are back again for episode 37, coming straight out of newspaper. Find us on all digital streaming platforms, including Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Amazon, to name but a few. Big up Scott Buckley on the Big Boy soundtrack. In the last few weeks, we've had a number of sort of shows because there's been less fixtures to cover, but this weekend we have a full fixture list with 7 interesting fixtures to preview today and 3 vital fixtures to preview tomorrow. So, without any further ado, we go straight into the first result of midweek, which was only 4 days ago at the Emirates Stadium in the match between Arsenal and Chelsea. The Gunners recorded their record victory over arch rivals Chelsea following a second half performance which was a joy to behold from Martin Odegaard. With Martin Odegaard pulling the strings and orchestrating pretty much the whole thing, the manner of the victory should come as little surprise. After just 4 minutes of football played, Arsenal took the lead after Declan Rice played the ball to Arsenal's informed forward Leandro Trossard, whose left-footed strike at the near post beat George Petrovic at his near post. That goal, incidentally, was the only goal of the first half, a half which Arsenal had created but failed to take numerous chances in. The second half was a different story though, with a whopping 4 goals in 20 minutes, putting Arsenal 5 goals up with an unassailable lead with just 20 minutes plus added time to play. Benjamin White, a player who has revelled in the second half of the season, managed to bag himself a brace, as did the former Chelsea man himself, Kai Havertz, who continues to defy the 60 million down the drain taunts from the home crowd. The win saw Arsenal extend their lead at the top of the league to 3 points plus a significantly higher goal difference over Liverpool, who are at this stage yet to play. In the second game of the midweek, which was on Wednesday between Wolverhampton Wanderers and Bournemouth, that ended 1-0 to the away side. Bournemouth handed a Wolves side struggling for form their 4th successive home defeat in all competitions, after Bournemouth's returning winger Antoine Semenyo pounced and reacted quickest to Max Kilman's failure to adequately clear an attempted Milos Kerkez square ball. The Ghanaian, with that goal, which proved to be the winner, now has a remarkable 8 goals and 12 assists despite missing a number of games due to injury and international duty. In the next game of the midweek was between Crystal Palace and Newcastle United, that ended 2-0 to the home side. A brace from Palace's informed striker Jean-Philippe Mateta was sufficient for Palace to win their 3rd game on the bounce in front of their home faithful. With a tight and evenly poised match between 2 informed sides, 0-0 at the break, it took a simple 1-2 between Jordan Ayew and Mateta to break the deadlock and overcome some extremely tight Newcastle marking. Ayew, who has been perhaps the biggest victim of Oliver Glasner's change in formation, started the match ahead of the impressive Michael Olise. Perhaps it was because of the latter's recent return from injury, which played in Mateta, who had the simple task of slotting the ball beyond Martin Dubravka in the Newcastle goal. The scores remaining 1-0 to the South London side right up until the 88th minute, before Mateta pounced on a cutback inside the box from Will Hughes to nutmeg Dubravka and secure all 3 points for his side. The French-born starlet of Congolese descent, now has a whopping 8 goals under Glasner since his arrival just 2 months ago. The formation change to a 3-4-3, which I alluded to in the last podcast, has allowed Eze and Elise to come inside more and get closer to Mateta, who has now shown he is a striker of significant quality. Okay, in the game between Manchester United and Sheffield United, it ended 4-2 to United. Obviously, the Manchester one. It was Manchester United's turn to arrest their recent poor run of form against Sheffield United, just as Brentford and Burnley did in recent matches. However, they were made to make hard work of it, especially after Andre Onana's loose ball towards Diogo Dalot gifted Jayden Bogle the opening goal of the game after just 35 minutes. The almost inevitable United equaliser, though, came after just 7 minutes of the opening goal, that is. After Harry Maguire glanced in a header from an Alejandro Garnacho cross past the reinstated blade stopper Wes Foderingham to score against his former club, a club he made over 100 appearances for at the start of his career. Against the run of play, the Blades then retook the lead after Ben Brereton Diaz, the Chile international, turned in a Ben Osborne cross for what was his 5th goal for the club since arriving on loan from Villarreal in January. Although Erik ten Hag's United had 40 minutes to overturn things, plus added time that is, his side was staring down the barrel of what would have been arguably their worst result of the season. Well, that was up until Bruno Fernandes turned it on. Up stepped Bruno Fernandes for his 6th and 7th goal in his last 5 matches, the first of which coming from the penalty spot. The second was a rasping drive from outside of the box with his weaker left foot. With the game now stretched, Fernandes turned provider as he squared for Rasmus Højlund to make it 4-2 and curtail a 6-game goal drought. Game, set and match. Following that was the game between Everton and Liverpool, the Merseyside derby, which ended 2-0 to the Toffees, who left Liverpool's title hopes hanging by a precarious thread after they registered their first victory over the Reds in their 30th attempt. Everton took the lead after a pinball session ensued inside the Liverpool box, resulting in a 21-year-old Jared Bramthwaite's attempt trickling beyond Alisson Becker in a Liverpool goal. With Liverpool's front three of Luis Diaz, Darwin Núñez and Mohamed Salah all misfiring and toiling in front of goal, Everton's England #1, Jordan Pickford, was on top of his game, pulling off a number of top-class saves. That was a good basis to build on, and after Dominic Calvert-Lewin's tremendous leap to head in a Dwight McNeil corner in the 58th minute, the Toffees weren't to be denied all 3 points, which all but secured their Premier League survival. Right, Thursday's game between Brighton Hove Albion and Manchester City ended 4-0 to the away side. Manchester City put Roberto De Zerbi's ailing Brighton Hove Albion side to the sword with consummate ease after racing into a 3-goal lead in just 34 minutes. A rare Kevin De Bruyne header from a precise Kyle Walker cross opened the scoring for the citizens before a deflected Phil Foden free kick preceded his 2nd goal of the game, which he slotted beyond still after Brighton were caught out trying to play out from the back. With the scores now 3-0, and over as a contest, City added a further goal from Julian Alvarez, who ended his 10-match Premier League goal drought just after the hour mark. As the match wore on, City took their foot off the gas in preparation for Sunday's trip to Nottingham Forest. Hashtag, what paper are you reading from? They ask. So recap, this midweek's fixture list was short and sweet, and I didn't get any correct scores, but I did manage to get 4 of the 6 results correct. with the incorrect results being Crystal Palace beating Newcastle 2-0 when I predicted a 2-2 draw, and Everton shocking Liverpool with a 2-0 win when I predicted a 3-0 Liverpool win. How wrong was I? This weekend will be the first game week in a while where we have a full fixture list of 10. So hopefully I can get my first full house of the season. Check out the community tab for all the updates on this weekend's upcoming fixtures. Bow. Okay. First of which is the game that is currently kicked off between West Ham United and Liverpool. Liverpool will be smarting from their disappointing derby defeat to Everton, which barring a catastrophic end to the season from both Arsenal and Manchester City, will see Liverpool ruled out of the title race with only one trophy to show for after the 4 that they initially set out for. West Ham will be looking to banish the woes of last time out when they lost 5-2 to Crystal Palace in what should be a competitive game. I'm backing Liverpool to take all 3 points in this one, and I have gone 3-1 to Liverpool. In the 3 o'clock kickoff between Wolverhampton Wanderers and Luton Town, it sees a match between two sides struggling for form. Luton only have 4 attempts left to overtake Nottingham Forest, who face Manchester City tomorrow. Luton currently trail Forest by a point. Only a win will be enough for Luton to do so today, as they have a much inferior goal difference to their relegation rivals. Wolves, on the contrary, are sitting pretty in mid-table, but have seen their hopes of squeezing into Europe disappear and dwindle in recent weeks. They'll be looking to arrest a poor recent run of 4 straight defeats at home, and I think they will do so today with a win. So I've gone 2-1 to Wolves. Right, this one between Fulham and Crystal Palace is one I'm looking forward to. Crystal Palace are flying right now and have 3 consecutive wins, and they'll be confident of adding Fulham to that growing list of casualties. Fulham have just a solitary win in their last 5 Premier League games, and that was against the West Ham side, who had a keen eye on their Europa League second leg against Bayer Leverkusen. Their form has tailed off a bit, but the cliche on the beach fits this Fulham side like a glove. They're on the beach. Considering they will now not go down, nor will they qualify for Europe, and probably not finish in the top 10, I think this makes for a match of great entertainment. With both sides sharing the spoils, I've gone 2-2 again. I always seem to go for 2-2 Crystal Palace results, and they always seem to win. Okay, the next game is between Newcastle United and Sheffield United. Newcastle will be disappointed by the nature of their defeat to Crystal Palace on Wednesday evening, given that their form had seen them climb into the top 6. Manchester United had beaten their opponents, Sheffield United, to overtake them into 6th on Wednesday. You'd expect nothing other than Newcastle to do the same. Sheffield United have just 1 win in, I believe it's 18 Premier League matches, and have conceded a whopping 92 goals in just 34 matches. I'll be astonished if Newcastle don't add at least another 2 or 3 goals to that figure. But my prediction is Newcastle 3, Sheffield United 0. Okay, a game between Manchester United and Burnley. On Wednesday, Manchester United arrested a woeful run of form which had seen them win just once in their last 7 Premier League matches. Burnley, on the contrary, have actually only lost once in their last 7 Premier League matches, to give themselves a glimmer of hope of staying up. They only have 4 games to better Luton and Nottingham Forest results though, and are trailing both on points and have an inferior goal difference to both. To simplify things, Burnley must win this match. Whilst I wouldn't put it past them, I don't think they have what it takes to go to Old Trafford and win, despite how bad and inconsistent Manchester United side have been this season. I've gone for a 2-1 United win here though. Alright, in the game between Everton and Brentford, Brentford go into this match buoyed by a 5-game unbeaten run, which has sealed their Premier League status for the season. They have won their last 2 against Luton and Sheffield United and looked impressive in the process. Everton, on the other hand, have just beaten their arch rivals Liverpool to secure their Premier League status. So the pressure is off for both sides in this match. I don't think this will be one for the neutrals or for the football purists, but I think that this will be one that Everton will just about edge, and I've gone 1-0 to Everton. Okay, the late kickoff between Aston Villa and Chelsea should be an interesting game, with Tottenham not playing until tomorrow afternoon, and in a match against table-topping Arsenal, Aston Villa have the chance to go a whopping 9 points clear of Spurs, with just 3 matches for them remaining, although Spurs will have 3 games in hand. They'll come up against an under-fire Chelsea side who lost 5-0 to Arsenal during the week, but are likely to have their talisman Cole Palmer back after a recent illness ruled him out of the Arsenal match. Chelsea have already beaten Villa at Villa Park this season in the FA Cup, but I think Villa will get the better of them on this occasion with a 2-0 win. Okay, as we move into Sunday's fixtures, the first of which is at the Vitality Stadium between Bournemouth and Brighton. Bournemouth go into this match against a Brighton side whose season has petered out in recent weeks with just 1 win in the last 8 Premier League matches. Remarkably, mid-table Bournemouth are actually above Brighton in the league, despite themselves only picking up 1 win in their last 4 league games, which was last time out against Wolves on Wednesday. Bournemouth are good at home though, and are unbeaten in the last 5 Premier League matches at the Vitality Stadium. And I think they'll beat the Seagulls tomorrow, and I've gone for a 2-0 win to Bournemouth. What paper are you reading from? They ask. Had to do that. Okay, the North London derby between Tottenham Hotspur and Arsenal is the game of the season so far, no doubt about that. It's between 2 North London rivals who detest one another so much. Tottenham, who haven't played in over 2 weeks, know that this is an unbelievable opportunity to dent Arsenal's hopes of lifting a first Premier League title in 20 years. In addition, their last result was an abject 4-0 defeat to Newcastle United at St James's Park. Since Spurs have last played that game, Arsenal have played 4 times with mixed results against Aston Villa, Bayern Munich, Wolves and Chelsea. The last 2 results make for ominous reading though for Ange Postecoglou's Spurs side, who know that they must be on point to prevent Arsenal from taking all 3 points at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. I don't think that they'll have enough to stop Arsenal from winning though. I think they will put up a worthwhile fight, but my prediction is 2-1 to Arsenal. Right, the game between Nottingham Forest and Manchester City at the City Ground sees Nottingham Forest, who are battling for their lives against relegation, taking on a Manchester City side who look to have hit top form at just the right time in the season. They have hit a stunning 17 goals in just 4 matches and know that just 5 more wins will secure them a historic, unprecedented 4th consecutive Premier League title victory, which will surely mark them out as the greatest Premier League side of all time, eclipsing all of the great Sir Alex Ferguson Manchester United sides. Whilst Forest possess the tools to hurt City with the likes of Callum Hudson-Odoi, Anthony Elanga and Morgan Gibbs-White, I don't think they'll see enough of the ball nor possess enough quality to stop the likes of Kevin De Bruyne, Phil Foden, Bernardo Silva et al. Getting in on goal and having what I think will result in a field day. My prediction for that one is 3-0 to Manchester City. Bam. Don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe, and we'll be back again to read straight out another newspaper next weekend. Bow!